All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Naresh Maghu and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha. The headlines. President-elect Draupadi Murmu to be sworn in as 15th President of India in Central Hall of Parliament this morning. Outgoing President Ramnath Kovind delivers his farewell address to the nation. Says country is getting equipped to make 21st century the Indian century. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets Chief Ministers and Deputy Chief Ministers of NDA-ruled states, asks them to prioritize key government schemes. Prime Minister to address program marking 10th death anniversary of Harmohan Singh Yadav today. Centre reviews monkeypox situation in the country at a high-level meeting. Delhi man with no history of foreign travel becomes India's fourth case of monkeypox. Nepalese government announces numerous measures to revive tourism industry battered by COVID-19 pandemic. Sri Lanka's presidential office to reopen today after removal of anti-government demonstrators from the colonial era building. And in cricket, India beat West Indies by 2 wickets in second ODI to take 2-0 lead in 3-match series. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. Coming to our 99th question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz in English. Which nationalist entrepreneur is popularly known as father of the Indian modern industry? I repeat the question for you. Which nationalist entrepreneur is popularly known as the father of the Indian modern industry? Listeners can send their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 88265 46262. Repeat, 88265 46262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. President-elect Draupadi Murmu will be sworn in as the 15th President of India in the Central Hall of Parliament at 10:15 a.m. today. The outgoing President Ramnath Kovind and the President-elect Draupadi Murmu will arrive in the Central Hall in a ceremonial procession. Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana will administer the oath of office of the President to Mrs. Murmu, followed by a 21-gun salute. The President will then deliver an address. On the conclusion of the ceremony in the Central Hall, the President will leave for Rashtrapati Bhavan, where an inter-services guard of honor will be given to her in the forecourt, and courtesies will be extended to the outgoing President Ramnath Kovind. Chairman of the Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Union Ministers, Governors, Chief Ministers, Heads of Diplomatic Missions, Members of Parliament, and principal civil and military officers of the Government of India will assemble in the Central Hall for the swearing-in ceremony. Our correspondent has filed this report.
President-elect Draupadi Murmu is the first tribal person and the second woman who will hold the position. The 64-year-old will be the youngest president of the country. She will also be the first president of India who is born after independence. Ms. Murmu joined politics in 1997 and was elected councillor in Rajrangpur Notified Area Council of Odisha. She served twice as an MLA from Rajrangpur Assembly constituency from 2000 to 2009 and once as a Minister for Commerce, Transport, Fisheries and Animal Resources Development in Odisha government. On 18th May 2015, Ms. Murmu took oath as Governor of Jharkhand and stayed in the post till 12th July last year. She was the first woman governor of the state and the first female tribal leader to serve as a governor in any Indian state. Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
President-elect Draupadi Murmu paid tribute at Rajghat in Delhi this morning ahead of her swearing-in. In view of the swearing-in ceremony, Department of Personnel and Training has issued an order directing partial closure of certain central government offices today. The construction work of the new Parliament building would also be kept on hold during the time of the ceremony. As per the order, a total of 30 offices and buildings have been vacated for carrying out an anti-sabotage check. This exercise will continue till the ceremony is over. The buildings that have been vacated early include South Block, North Block, Rail Bhavan, Krishi Bhavan, Shastri Bhavan, Sanchar Bhavan, PTI Building, All India Radio, Sena Bhavan and Vayu Bhavan among others. These buildings will remain closed from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. today. Delhi Traffic Police has advised commuters to avoid roads near Sansad Marg from 9 a.m. to 12 noon today due to the swearing-in ceremony.
President Ramnath Kovind delivered his farewell address to the nation last evening. The President said in modern times the glorious journey of the country commenced with the awakening of nationalist feelings during colonial rule and the launch of the freedom struggle. He observed that the names of many of the heroes of the freedom struggle had been forgotten and contributions of some of them have been appreciated only in recent times. The President said that the chief goal is to help citizens discover the joy of living, for which their basic necessities must be taken care of. He said the government should provide better housing and access to drinking water and electricity for every family. He emphasized that national education policy will go a long way in making young Indians connect with their heritage and also find their feet in the 21st century. Speaking about healthcare, the President said COVID pandemic has underlined the need to further improve public healthcare infrastructure.
Here, education is the key. I believe the national education policy will go a long way in making it possible for young Indians to connect with their heritage and also find their feet in the 21st century. To let them flourish tomorrow, healthcare is essential. The pandemic has underlined the need to further improve the public healthcare infrastructure. I am glad that the government has accorded top priority to this task. Once education and healthcare are in place, economic reforms will let citizens find the best course for their lives. I firmly believe that our country is getting equipped to make the 21st century the century of India.
The President said that he discharged his duties to the best of his abilities during the 5 years of his term. He recounted that whenever he was in doubt, he turned to Gandhiji's talisman and recalled the face of the poorest man and asked if his decision would be of any use to him. Recounting his childhood days, Mr. Kovind said India had just achieved independence when he was growing up. He said that as a young boy living in a mud house, he did not have any idea about the highest constitutional office of the Republic. He said it is thanks to the power of the nation's vibrant democratic institutions that Ramnath Kovind from village Baronk could become the President. The President said that people from all walks of life, including farmers and workers from small villages, teachers, artists, doctors, nurses, judges and advocates helped him in discharging his duties. President Kovind said he will cherish the occasions when he met brave Jawans of the armed forces, paramilitary forces and the police. Concluding his address, he asked everyone to take care of the environment, land, air and water for the sake of the children.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with 12 Chief Ministers and 8 Deputy Chief Ministers of the BJP and NDA-ruled states at BJP Chief Ministers' Council meeting in New Delhi yesterday. BJP President Jagat Prakash Nadda was also present at the meeting. During the meeting, Mr. Modi emphasized better implementation of some of the key schemes and initiatives of the government like Gati Shakti, Har Ghar Jal, Swamitva, DBT implementation and government e-marketplace, especially in the BJP-ruled states. Talking about rural areas, the Prime Minister spoke about the significance of Gobar Dhan and the need to further popularize the initiative. Mr. Modi underlined the positive impact of nano-fertilizers on crop productivity and called for increasing their usage. The Prime Minister stressed on the need to ensure saturation-level coverage of all key schemes and said that the BJP-ruled states should take a lead on it. The Prime Minister asked the Chief Ministers to ensure that the states accord due importance to sports and ensure provision of best facilities for encouraging participation and engagement of youth in large numbers. He emphasized that the BJP-ruled states should aim to become known for their sporting culture. In the meeting, the progress of the Amrit Sarovar mission and preparation for the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign were also reviewed.
अब हर घर की छत पर शान से फहरेगा तिरंगा, गुनगुनाए जाएंगे नव विकास के गीत, आन बान शान का प्रतीक राष्ट्रध्वज तिरंगा। आइए आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर इस स्वाधीनता दिवस हर घर फहराते हैं तिरंगा और लेते हैं भव्य और सशक्त भारत के निर्माण का संकल्प।
आइए हर घर फहराएं तिरंगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a program marking the 10th death anniversary of Harmohan Singh Yadav via video conferencing today. Harmohan Singh Yadav was a towering figure and leader of the Yadav community. The Prime Minister's participation in the program is in recognition of the contribution of the late leader for farmers, backward classes and other sections of the society. Harmohan Singh Yadav was awarded the Shaurya Chakra in 1991 for valour in protecting the lives of several Sikhs during the 1984 anti-Sikh riots.
The centre held a high-level review meeting yesterday to take stock of the monkeypox situation in the country. States and union territories have been advised to undertake close surveillance. With a 34-year-old man with no history of foreign travel testing positive yesterday in the national capital, the Delhi government has now been advised to undertake contact tracing. Talking to AIR News, Director of LNJP Hospital, Dr. Suresh Kumar said that social distancing and use of masks is important to prevent monkeypox infection.
ये व्यक्ति हमारे पास 2 दिन पहले एडमिट हुआ था और भर्ती होने से पहले इसको फीवर था और टिपिकल स्किन के रैशेस थे। इसकी क्लिनिकल कंडीशन को देखते हुए, क्योंकि ये संभावित या सस्पेक्टेड मंकीपॉक्स का केसेस था, तो इसको हमने ऑब्जर्वेशन में रखा और इसका जो स्किन से जो टेस्ट है और इसके साथ साथ जो ब्लड का टेस्ट है वो हमने इसके सैंपल्स नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ वायरोलॉजी पुणे में भेजे और उसका परिणाम जो कि पॉजिटिव है। ये जो वायरस है ये कोविड से डिफरेंट वायरस है और ये जो वायरस है डीएनए वायरस है, जिसका कि पीसीआर के द्वारा हम ये कंफर्म करते हैं कि इसको मंकीपॉक्स का बीमारी है कि नहीं है। संक्रमित व्यक्ति के कपड़े यदि दूसरा कोई व्यक्ति उसको यूज करता है तो उसमें भी ये फैल सकता है और इससे बचाव के लिए सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है कि हम सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का पालन करें और मास्क का प्रयोग करें। यदि हम मास्क का प्रयोग करेंगे तो जो एक व्यक्ति से दूसरे व्यक्ति को जो ट्रांसमिशन होता है वो नहीं होगा, बिल्कुल बच पाएंगे और ये एक महत्वपूर्ण है कि आप मास्क का प्रयोग करें।
4 cases of monkeypox have so far been reported from India, and another suspected case has been flagged in Telangana yesterday evening. The World Health Organization has already declared the monkeypox a global public health emergency of international concern. Shri Amarnath Yatra from Baltal Base Camp and from traditional Pahalgam route has been temporarily suspended due to bad weather conditions. It has been continuously raining at various places on Baltal and Pahalgam routes and around the Holy Cave. The Yatra will be allowed to move further only after improvement in the weather conditions along the Yatra routes. Meanwhile, more than 2,63,000 Yatris have paid obeisance to the Shivlingam at the Holy Cave Shrine till yesterday evening. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. President-elect Draupadi Murmu to be sworn in as 15th President of India in Central Hall of Parliament this morning. Outgoing President Ramnath Kovind delivers his farewell address to the nation, says country is getting equipped to make 21st century the Indian century. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets Chief Ministers and Deputy Chief Ministers of NDA-ruled states, asks them to prioritize key government schemes. Prime Minister to address program marking 10th death anniversary of Harmohan Singh Yadav today. Centre reviews monkeypox situation in the country at a high-level meeting. Delhi man with no history of foreign travel becomes India's 4th case of monkeypox. Nepalese government announces numerous measures to revive tourism industry battered by COVID-19 pandemic. Sri Lanka's presidential office to reopen today after removal of anti-government demonstrators from the colonial-era building. And in cricket, India beat West Indies by 2 wickets in the second ODI to take a 2-0 lead in 3 test match series. For quick news in 3-match series. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alert.
क्या आप वरिष्ठ नागरिक हैं? क्या आपके मन में सेहत, आर्थिक, सामाजिक या भावनात्मक मुद्दों से जुड़ा कोई सवाल है? आकाशवाणी आपके लिए लेकर आया है कार्यक्रम एक कदम और बुजुर्गों के लिए, हर रविवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर। आप अपने सवाल हमें व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर भेज सकते हैं या इस पते पर ईमेल कर सकते हैं एक कदम और airnews@gmail.com।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर
8700014242।
Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari yesterday inaugurated the Savner-Dhapewada-Gaund-Kheri section of National Highway 547E in Nagpur. According to Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, the section of the highway has a length of 28.88 kilometers and has been built at a cost of 720 crore rupees. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Gadkari said this highway section is replete with various features like greenfield bypass, big bridge, railway flyover, as well as vehicular underpass, overpass, bus shelter on both sides. It will eliminate the traffic problem in the area and will prove crucial to ensure smooth and safe traffic for citizens. The Nepalese government has announced numerous measures to revive the tourism industry battered by the COVID-19 pandemic, including a plan to declare the years between 2023 and 2033 as the Visit Nepal Decade. The tourism sector is a major foreign exchange earner and job creator for the country. Unveiling the Tourism Rehabilitation Action Plan, Jeevan Ram Shrestha, Nepal's Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation, said the government is breaking the tradition of announcing a single year as Visit Nepal Year in order to run a sustained campaign to promote tourism. Nepal will launch promotion campaigns in China, India and Bangladesh under the new action plan. Sri Lanka's presidential office will reopen today, days after anti-government demonstrators were flushed out in a military crackdown. The colonial-era building was occupied earlier this month by protesters angered by the island nation's unprecedented economic crisis. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember nationalist scholar Acharya Parshuram Chaturvedi. He was born on July the 25th, 1894 in Javahi village, Balia district of Uttar Pradesh. He is considered to be the most authoritative and accepted scholar of the saint tradition and helped in revitalizing the Indian civilizational ethos in the times when the country was fighting against the British imperialist regime.
Educated at Allahabad and Varanasi University, Parshuram was a lawyer by profession, but had a keen interest in spiritual literature. He was a scholar of many dialects of Sanskrit and Hindi. He was a supporter of free thinking and evolutionary theory in literature. His life was devoted to the welfare of humanity.
In his books, Bharatiya Sahitya ki Sanskritik Rekhaएं and Sant Sahitya ki Parakh, Parshuram gave place to the saints of Sanatan sect as well as the Sufis worshippers of Sagun and Nirgun Bhakti streams, Nath Panthis and saints belonging to the sect of Jangam Jogdas. In his book, Uttar Bharat Ki Sant Parampara, Acharya Chaturvedi considered Mahatma Gandhi to be the last saint.
Acharya Parashuram Chaturvedi died on the 3rd of January 1979. AIR News salutes the great Indian. We also remember martyr Shridev Suman. He was born on the 15th of May 1915 in Tihri, Garhwal, Uttarakhand. Shridev Suman took an active part in the Salt Satyagrah of 1930. He became a member of the Standing Committee of Lok Parishad in 1936.
A prolific writer, he wrote on the socio-political issues of Tihri Garhwal state. Shridev Suman also participated in the Quit India movement in Garhwal division in 1942, for which he was arrested twice and put behind the bars. He was arrested again and imprisoned in the Tihri State Jail on the 13th of December 1943, where he died in the jail on the 25th of July 1944. AIR News salutes the brave martyr.
We also remember nationalist M. Alagappa Manikavellu Naikar, who died on the 25th of July 1996. M.A. Manikavellu was born on the 14th of December 1896. A member of the Swarajya Party faction of the Indian National Congress, Naikar was elected to the Madras Legislative Council and served as a member of the Madras Legislative Council from 1926 to 1937.
Janakodigalku jeevamrutam Jaya Bharadambekku vandanam.
After independence, Manikavellu founded the Commonweal Party and served as the Minister of Revenue for the Madras state. He also served as a member of the Rajya Sabha from 1962 to 1964. During the 1964-1970, he was the chairman of the Tamil Nadu Legislative Council. Till his death in 1996, M.A. Manikavellu continued to serve the nation. AIR News salutes the great Indian.
We also remember martyr Hriday Shah, Chulkan Lodi, Lal Dulare Lal, who belonged to Madhya Pradesh. They took active part in the First War of Independence in 1857. They were caught by the British troops during an encounter and charged with desertion and mutiny. Hriday Shah, Chulkan Lodi, Lal Dulare Lal was sentenced to death and executed by hanging on the 25th of July, 1857. We salute the brave martyrs.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Olympic champion Neeraj Chopra created history yesterday by becoming the first Indian to win the silver medal at the World Athletics Championships. India's ace javelin thrower and Tokyo Olympic gold medalist Chopra grabbed second position in the prestigious competition. Interacting with the media after winning the medal, Neeraj Chopra said that he is satisfied with the result. He said that he will try to do better at the World Championships next year. Before this, Anju Bobby George won a bronze medal in the long jump in the Paris Games in 2003. President Ramnath Kovind, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur have congratulated Neeraj Chopra on this achievement. In cricket, India defeated the West Indies by 2 wickets in the second ODI at Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain last night to take a 2-0 lead in the 3-match series. India achieved the victory target of 312 runs in 49.4 overs at a loss of 8 wickets. For the visitors, Akshar Patel, unbeaten at 64, was the top scorer, and Shreyas Iyer also made 63 runs. The third and final ODI will be played on Wednesday at Queen's Park Oval at Port of Spain. The match will start at 7 p.m. Indian time.
A 215-member Indian athlete contingent across 16 disciplines is all set to participate in the Commonwealth Games beginning on July the 28th in Birmingham. Sports Authority of India has started a new initiative to cheer for Team India with the campaign Create for India. Participants can submit their creative entries by 26th July using the hashtags Create for India and Cheer for India.
Listen to Commonwealth Games quiz with AIR News Sportscan at 7:20 p.m. every day. All you have to do is reply to a question on the Commonwealth Games. Email your answers at airsportscan@gmail.com. The first correct answer will be selected as the winner and rewarded with a jersey of the Indian Commonwealth Games team. So keep cheering to India, listening to Sportscan at 7:20 p.m. on FM Gold 100.1 MHz and on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official.
Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 36 degrees. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 32 degrees. Chennai will have a cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Leh and Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will have thunderstorm with rain. Visakhapatnam will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And Guwahati, Kohima, Aizawl, Agartala, Gangtok, Shillong, Itanagar and Imphal will have generally cloudy skies with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra, India's gold-winning Olympian striking silver at World Athletics Championship in Oregon, US, figures prominently on front pages of newspapers. Flamethrower, says Hindustan Times, with a picture of Neeraj Chopra just before the throw. Neeraj's silver shines like gold, writes the Times of India. On the President-elect Draupadi Murmu's oath ceremony today, the Asian Age says, Kovind bids farewell Murmu's oath today. India on path to own 21st century, says outgoing President Ramnath Kovind, reports the Statesman. Spurt in mid-air snags, DGCA starts special audit of airlines, reports the Tribune. A headline in the Pioneer reads, Irani sends legal notice to Congress leaders over slur against daughter. High alert as Delhi reports monkeypox. India's fourth case has no history of foreign travel, reports The Hindu. And finally, children of unwed mothers and rape victims can live in this country with their fundamental rights of privacy, liberty and dignity intact, says Kerala High Court, while allowing a person to mention only their mother's name in birth certificate and other important documents, writes the Times of India.
Before we end the bulletin, a reminder of today's question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Which nationalist entrepreneur is popularly known as father of the Indian modern industry? WhatsApp your response on 88265 for 6262. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. President-elect Draupadi Murmu to be sworn in as 15th President of India in Central Hall of Parliament this morning. Outgoing President Ramnath Kovind delivers his farewell address to the nation as country is getting equipped to make 21st century the Indian century. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets Chief Ministers and Deputy Chief Ministers of NDA-ruled states, asks them to prioritize key government schemes. Prime Minister to address program marking 10th death anniversary of Harmohan Singh Yadav today. Centre reviews monkeypox situation in the country at a high-level meeting. Delhi man with no history of foreign travel becomes India's fourth case of monkeypox. Nepalese government announces numerous measures to revive tourism industry battered by COVID-19 pandemic. Sri Lanka's presidential office to reopen today after removal of anti-government demonstrators from the colonial era building. And in cricket, India beat West Indies by 2 wickets in second ODI to take a 2-0 lead in 3-match series. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.